What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Marie Fredriksson, and we're returning to the 1992 album, which I believe translates to The Constant Journey. And we're jumping over a track that I think translates to So Quiet, So Slow, because I reacted to that as part of the singles compilation that Eric sent me a couple years back. So, yes, I recognized the name when I was looking at the track listing in the folder here. I was like, wait, I definitely reacted to that one, didn't I? And sure enough, I did, so I was happy to have recognized it despite the name being in Swedish. So yeah, the title track, I think I mentioned the phrase a bit in my opening 2-for-1 reaction to this album, which I really appreciated, not only all the comments and insights like usual, but it did seem there's at least a few people who follow these reactions who consider this Marie's magnum opus, like just her really most impactful album and a well-crafted piece of art, so I'm especially looking forward to going through it with you all. But yes, the next track is the title track. So the idea of a journey not being defined necessarily by spurts or even peaks or valleys, the idea of every step of the process, every waypoint from beginning to end being a significant part, a crucial element of the larger journey, and all of it being part of a voyage through time, through space, through emotion, through phases, both again in relation to other people, your own psycho-emotional state, understanding, and of course life itself. So I feel like the phrase has a wealth, a cornucopia of meaning that I would see likely as representing or manifesting on different levels. Once again, this will be in Swedish, so I will rely on the kind folks out there to provide any insights specifically. But yes, I feel like the sentiment is very understandable for those of us who have taken more than a few rotations, or rather orbits, around the sun. And so yes, I do wonder if this is another track that perhaps will use a particular setting or scene or narrative to express a larger point, that we're all on this constant journey, or these interconnected constant journeys, and it is part of our growth to recognize that and to experience it. So yes, let me know after we listen what the specifics are. Let's hear it. This is Marie Fredriksson. The tune translates to The Constant Journey, and it's the title track of the album of the same name, 1992.
Den ständiga resan genom livet, när det alltid känns som höst, då vänder sig vinden sakta mot norr och blommorna dör. Det faller regn i mina drömmar. Jag måste resa igen och leta efter tröst. Jag måste leta igen efter ömhetens röst. Jag måste resa igen till nästa höst. Den ständiga resan till nästa höst. måste resa igen och leta efter tröst. Jag måste leta igen efter ömhetens röst. Jag måste resa igen till nästa höst. Den ständiga resan till nästa höst. Den ständiga resan till nästa höst. Till nästa höst.
Wow. So, even before the first wicked riff moment of the electric guitar, I was already thinking, this is almost like a moody, ambient blues track, which, putting those words together, I feel like that's not altogether common, though, there is sort of like space jazz and blues that's a bit more atmospheric and less, muddy waters kind of blues, like Delta blues and so on. But this one already had a bit of that vibe, and then that really bluesy electric guitar came in and just sort of sealed the sense of what I was hearing that was already there. So yeah, definitely it's a moody, ambient type of tune. It's pretty stripped down. There's it's not a very dense production. There's the sort of ambient moments. There's some like synth pads or like keyboard pads. There's some elements that sounded sort of like a string. There was one moment where it almost sounded flute or like woodwind-like, but those were all kind of subtle and supportive. And then there was the strumming acoustic guitar, and again, I just did the Yelena Cheater reaction, and in that case, there was a mixture of electric and acoustic guitar, but it was different here. It was more spacious, more spread out, and more sparing. And again, I enjoyed those acoustic guitar flourishes, which were almost like not a heartbeat, but like the tune sort of respirating, or sort of long periods of exhaling, and then sort of ratcheting up through that guitar acoustic crescendo, which felt like a big inhale, and then those very bluesy electric guitar flourishes, which might have been my favorite aspect outside of Marie's voice. And again, just the calm control she has, where she can go a bit more intense, she can extend a line and just bring it to a gentle conclusion, and she can switch back and forth between those types of deliveries very quickly and very naturally, very smoothly. So yes, again, not the biggest belting performance I've heard from Marie, not the subtlest and softest either, somewhere in between, maybe more on the softer, subtle side of the larger Marie vocal spectrum. But yes, I enjoy the comfortability of her vocal performance here, and again, some really nice extensions and a couple moments where she, turns up the heat a little bit. So yeah, again, I don't quite know, if the thoughts I had at the start are in any way related to the lyrics here. Of course, I look forward to any insights, but it felt like a wizened type of vocal performance, someone who's seen things, seen the ups, seen the downs. And again, blues is very much about that, sort of knowing what it's like to fail or to be mistreated, to be in a rut in your life, and to sort of, shout out to the world about what's happening to you, but still with the sense that maybe you can get through this, or maybe things will turn right, or people will treat you better. So it feels like maybe, excuse me, the constant journey is about, not giving up, not getting stuck at any one point, or not looking back and just wishing that you could go back to what was or what could have been, but understanding that, until the very end, you are in phases and situations that can be just as significant. So obviously that's all speculative, but like I said, her vocal performance here, it had this wizened experience type of feel to it. So I look forward to hearing any insights. Once again, shout out to Jeebus, shout out to all the folks who've been commenting who are, originally part of the Roxette journey, and of course shout out to those who are over here on Patreon while I'm waiting, I think, to get re-access or access again to my YouTube channel. And if you are watching this on YouTube and it's still, let's say, early November 2025, then I guess all has gone well and things are back where they should be. But let me know what you think of the tune, and I will see you for the next one. Peace.